Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to start with something amazing. And could you imagine this? I'm so excited being able to fly from New York City to London in an hour and a half. Wow, just an hour and a half. Right now, it's a 7+ hour trip nonstop. Now, a plane to replace the Concorde, it's being spec'd out, and they really think that this one's going to come to fruition. It seats 170 people. They're not saying what the cost is going to be, obviously not yet. But this plane travels 2,500 miles per hour. Sign me up. I mean, wow. Should be here within 5 years. But I really think this idea is going to fly, and it's not going to disappear into thin air. Get it? Thin air? Oh, I know. If you have to explain it, it's just not that funny. I understand. But I appreciate all of you who just laughed at that particular moment, because after all, it's America's largest show about all things digital, your most trusted source. You can find us on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And to find the show at any time, just search for my last name, Commando, with a K, of course. Or if that's too much work and you want to support everything that we do, head over to getkim.com, because that's where you can get our podcasts and our webcasts, so you can actually watch us do the show and have some fun on the commercial breaks. And we've got some great videos at the end. And it's 3 months worth of archives too. It's just a few bucks a month and you get a free 30-day trial. Once again, that address is over at getkim.com, getkim.com. And a special thank you goes out to our servicemen and women in the Army, the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force who protect our great nation and listen to the Kim Commando Show every week on the American Forces Network Radio. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. All right, every single day, wow, I drop by at least 30 to 40 different websites. I read everything that I can. I look at press releases. I read white papers so that this way I keep you up to date. And this is part of the show where I like to bring your attention to future tech, future things that are coming down the pike, things that you're going to want to know about. Like, let's start with owning a boat, not just any boat. You could own a submarine. Now, because of technology, building a submarine has gotten a lot cheaper, relatively speaking. So how much do you think you would pay for your very own submarine? How much do you think it's going to cost? Well, New York Times did a story about a company called U-Boat Works, and they say that everyone with a yacht over 150 feet, of course they are, they're considering a submarine. They sell subs in the $2.5 to $3.5 million range that come with 2 weeks of training, and they now have a cheaper model. Yes, you can afford this one, $600,000. Carl Allen was a guy in the story. He owns a sub made by Triton Subs, and he's an experienced diver. And he says, I think this is kind of cool. You don't need tanks anymore to see all the stuff that's down there. You can have a cocktail, put on your music, go down, and have a blast. Well, hopefully not a blast. That was probably the wrong words he should have said. U-Boat Works is developing a high-end, what they call Nexus submarine, that has seating for up to 9 people. You can spend 18 hours underwater, and the price start at $5.5 million. Wow. Do you ever think, because of tech, you'd be able to own a sub? Kind of crazy, isn't it? You know, working on a PC is like driving a submarine. It really is. Once you open the windows, the problems begin. That's right. Problems just start. Number 2 on our future list tech is you might be able to run faster than a robot, at least for now. Now, if the idea of a robot chasing you down the street doesn't scare you, it really should, because think about it. A robot doesn't get winded. They don't run out of steam until they run out of batteries. They just keep going and going and going. So meet Cassie. She's a 2-legged bot developed at Oregon State University. This past week, she won, I say she, I guess I should say it, a Guinness World Record for the fastest 100 meters run by a bipedal robot. So Cassie did 100 meters in 24.73 seconds. Okay, that's about 9 miles per hour. So how does that compare to the rest of the world? Usain Bolt holds the world record for running 100 meters in 9.58 seconds. Guy was running 23 miles per hour. Wow. Florence Griffith Joyner's women's world record is 10.49 seconds. Not too far behind him. So in order to beat Cassie the robot, you have to run a mile in about 5 minutes. Yes, 5 minutes. I know what you're thinking. Kim, I couldn't jog a mile in 15 minutes. I'm just a running joke. Our. Number 3 on our list is Apple's future satellite link isn't for everyone. With the new iPhone 14, it has emergency SOS. It's going to start working this November. And the whole idea is that if you're in an emergency situation, you could get help where there's no cellular or there's no Wi-Fi. It's fabulous, really. Here's how it works. In the best case scenario, you have a clear view of the sky. You're in an emergency. You compose a text to your contacts, whoever it may be. A text is going to take about 15 seconds to send. Now, that's perfect. Now, let's say you're under trees with light to medium foliage. How long will that text take to send? About a minute, which is still pretty good. But what if you're stuck in a cave? It doesn't work. What if you're in a forest? Might not work. What if you're in a canyon? Again, kind of questionable. How about anywhere in northern Canada or Alaska? That feature to send a text via satellite is probably not going to work. So what this means to you is I want you to be smart. If you're going in the backwoods, go old school, okay? Have a compass, print a map, whatever it may be. Have enough water, make sure you have enough for the elements. Tell someone where you're going, when you're going to come back. I mean, tech is fabulous. Tech is great. I love tech, but you have to be smart and you also have to use your common sense. Number 4 on our list, the day the music died, okay? What has changed dramatically in our life over the last 20 years? Yeah, everything, right? I know. But let's just focus on music. How we find music that we like. There are no more radio stores, record stores, really. How we consume our music. Where do we find it? How do we learn about it? How do we know? Where have we heard that song before? How do we pay for music? Do we pay by the song? No, we pay a monthly subscription fee. What about our own music? How do we get it into the system? The entire music industry has been disrupted. And no one could have ever predicted that this future tech would have happened the way that it did. So that's why I thought you might like to know about what looks like to be a great series on Netflix that's coming. It's called The Playlist. It's based on Spotify founder Daniel Ek, who disrupts the music industry with Spotify. Music labels. Think about that. Artists, politicians, everybody has opinions. He's got a lot of haters, that's for sure. It comes out on October 13th, and again, it's on Netflix, and it's called The Playlist. And finally, coming in at number 5, some actors are never going to die in the future. You know, it was really sad when Bruce Willis, 67-year-old, he came public with his diagnosis of aphasia, which is a language disorder that causes major issues with reading and comprehending and listening and speaking. Think about that. It's everything that he has done his whole life. He's an actor. Back in March, Bruce Willis said that he's going to be stepping away from acting after over 4 decades of films, fabulous movies. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because, again, we're talking about future tech. Bruce Willis has become the first Hollywood actor to sell his rights to a digital twin. Wow. His likeness is going to be used on screen for future movies and shows and series and podcasts or whatever it may be. Through the use of machine learning and AI, they are going to create a visual and audio twin of someone. Now, in 2021, Bruce Willis gave permission to this company called Deepcake in order to appear in a commercial. His face, because remember, he can't remember his lines, he can't do that anymore because of his health condition. His face was digitally transplanted onto another actor. Wow. Isn't that something? Now that the actor has officially sold all the rights to his likeness to be hired by Deepcake for future productions. So he's still acting. He's still making money because of technology. Now, obviously, there's a real danger with this technology. I don't know if you've ever seen some presidents and politicians deepfaked, but it is eerily real. I mean, you look at it and you're like, wow. So imagine if some deep fake video of Putin doing something right now when the whole world's worrying about nuclear war and everything like that. What if that went viral on social and it turns out just to be a deep fake? I mean, there's some real repercussions here. But this deep fake tech looks so real for Bruce Willis. I'm telling you, this is no Pulp Fiction. All right, coming up in just a few moments, how you can get your email read when you're sending it to strangers. We're going to talk about some charges on your credit card. There's a massive crime spree that's going around. I need to warn you about that. An easy way to get some old slides and negatives into your photo library. Oh, and I'm super excited. We have a special guest joining us too this hour here on the Kim Komando Show. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. And I just want to tell you real quick about GetKimsHelp.com. You know, finding tech support online, it's risky. That's why I partnered with the top tech experts to give you 24/7 live support that you can trust. They can fix your problem or there's no charge. That's GetKimsHelp.com. So whether it's a problem with your Wi-Fi, your printer, smartphone, computer, TVs, whatever it may be, okay, just get over to GetKimsHelp.com. That's GetKimsHelp.com. Stop Googling, stop watching YouTube videos. Get your problem solved right now. You know, you've got enough crazy, frustrating things in your life. Let somebody handle these tech issues for you. Head over to GetKimsHelp.com. That's GetKimsHelp.com. All right, how about we start with Rebecca in Denver, Colorado. Hi there, Rebecca.
Hi, Kim. Oh, it's great to talk with you. I've been a fan probably 15 years.
Oh, thank you. You're very sweet. Thank you. What's going on?
Well, I'm not very tech savvy, but I still purchased a Mac desktop.
Nice.
And I'm trying to record educational lectures. So I figured out how to screen record using the internal microphone, but the quality of the sound is horrible.
Okay.
So I purchased a Blue Yeti microphone, but it's not recording. So I'm thinking I need maybe a recommendation on some very basic, uncomplicated software.
That's cool. What do you teach?
No, I'm going back to school.
Oh, you're going back to school. Oh, awesome. So what are you going to go back for?
An advanced degree in pharmacy.
Oh, super dupes. That's awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
Well, let's just make sure that the iMac that you're using, let's just make sure that it's configured the right way, okay? So you don't have to writing this down because we're going to send it to you. Okay, it's just
okay. Thank you.
So you're gonna like, okay, so how do I do this? How do I do this? And we don't want to do that. It's like, okay. So screen recording is built into your iMac using QuickTime, right? And
correct.
So before you click the record button, I want you to. There's a down arrow to make sure that you're all set up properly. And that big option, because that's a nice microphone that you bought, the Blue Yeti. Is that there's microphone options, and that's where you have to choose which mic that you prefer. And so if you're not going to use the internal mic, you have to make sure that that Blue Yeti is configured properly to work with QuickTime. It's not very hard. It's simpler to do. Now,
maybe that's what I'm not doing properly.
It might just, it could just be that. That's what I'm thinking, that you just plugged it in and you're having like this whole thing going on, but it's not recording. The other thing is that there's another program. It's been around forever. Well, not forever, but it seems like forever. It's called OBS. And it is really good for screen and microphone recording. And I can give you a link to a YouTube video to set it up and how to use it. But it's pretty straightforward on how to use. Now, so why are you recording the lectures? I'm just curious.
So I can watch them again.
Okay. All right. So, because I was going to say, because if you were looking for transcriptions, there could be other ways. But if you want to watch them so that you can get into them again, that's probably the best way to do it. So so in the interim, if you go to just a file, new screen recording, just make sure that you have under microphone options that you have the microphone that you prefer. And you can also do that within the whole system settings as well. Or use this OBS software, which I've used myself for many times. And that also might be something that you want to look at. But we're going to send you over some links for everybody else in case you're looking to record your screen. It's really simple to do. And we'll post some tips over inside the Komando community, which is komando.com/community. And on the left-hand side, there's a link that says Q&A forum. All right, let's talk about your email, because I don't know about you, but I get a lot of email from people that it's just kind of a complete turnoff. It's like, hello, how are you? You don't care how I am. Okay. If you are soliciting business email, I want you to be short and concise. I want you to get my attention from the onset. Make sure that you do it within the subject. And don't forget that you can also use these same principles when you're on LinkedIn and you're trying to message somebody for an opportunity that maybe you're presenting to them, or that you saw something that you might be good for. So here's the thing. No one likes a spammer, but it's super easy to figure out anyone's email address or to reach out on LinkedIn. So let's start with rule number 5. I want you to get to the point. If you have a mutual acquaintance, put that person's name in the first sentence. Just do that, because then I'm like, oh, they're okay. They've already been vetted. Number 4 is to write like you're talking to the person. Don't talk about paradigms and goal shifts and things like that. Nobody knows that. Just talk like we're having a conversation. Rule number 3, tell them what you want. Be specific, as you want to be interviewed on the show. You want to do a deal. You want to advertise on the show, whatever it may be. Just be specific. Number 2 is I want you to proofread it. Do it twice. And number 1, you only have the first 5 words in a subject line, or you're headed right to the trash folder. So make the subject personal, use referred by, or quick question, Kim, whatever it may be. That usually works. And so these are 5 rules to make sure that your email gets read. All right, stay right where you are. We have more of your phone calls and more tips coming up that you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. All right, coming up in just a few moments, there's a massive crime ring that might be putting some strange charges on your credit card to tell you about. And then later on, an easy way to get slides and negatives into your digital photo album. And if you have been a regular listener of the Kim Komando Show, you know that we've had some changes over the last year, and some unexpected changes. Well, one really big unexpected change. I've been doing this show it's getting close to 25 years now. And for the last 18 years, as I've been sitting behind this microphone, is that there's been a gentleman, my friend, my confidant. And we got to the point when we were working together that I could pretty much just look at him and he knew exactly what I was thinking. And in the broadcast industry, that is so incredibly hard to get, that you have this momentum with the person who's running your microphone and the sound and everything, and that I can just put my hand one way and he knows I want the sound higher or this way, or I'm going to cough or whatever it may be during a live production. And that person that I called on air is Mighty Mike James. And over the last year, I have consistently received notes, phone calls here at the studio. I even got some letters, people on social saying, what happened to Mike? Where's Mike? And I didn't really want to go into it in a public forum, what happened to Mike. People speculated that, he got a new job, and people said that he made so much money in real estate that he sold out all his properties and he didn't have to work anymore. but I never really responded because I wanted to respect Mike's privacy. So, lo and behold, a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. It's been a couple of weeks now, and I'm so thrilled to say that the mighty Mike James is back. There he is.
Hello, Kim.
So Mike, you didn't sell all your properties and run off to the Maldives.
No, I didn't.
You didn't get a new
Not
gig.
all of them,
Not all.
anyway.
You didn't get a new gig. You're not sitting there running
Right.
Today's Show board.
Right.
I know what happened. So why don't you tell everybody what happened?
Well, actually, you know what? This week was a little bit of an anniversary on the 28th. So we'll get to that. But August of last year, as you know, I got COVID. And really at that time, it was not as well known as it is today, I guess. I called the doctors. They said, isolate for 10 days. Good luck. Take some vitamins. Good luck.
Yes, right.
10 days later, the COVID, I was negative, but I still was pretty sick. And as a matter of fact, I went to the doctor and they said, you need to go to the hospital right now. They were almost calling an ambulance to go take me to the hospital. So I went to the hospital. I was in for 5 days. That was late August 2021. And, of course, I bugged the doctors for 5 days to let me out.
Sure you did.
Get back to work. And then I did get out, and I was home for a couple of days and had to go back to the hospital. That was my friend Lori actually came over and took me to the hospital. And that time I was in for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I found out that I had pneumonia really bad from COVID. That's what it does. It attacks your lungs, right?
Right.
And so at that time, again, I was really thought I was pretty okay, fine, ready to go home, get back to work, bugged them to get out. And in September last year, they did let me out on about the 25th. And once again, I was home with my parents, came down to visit and stay with me. Unfortunately, that was the big one. I was sick again. And on the 28th, 1 year ago, on the 28th, they took me to the hospital and put me on the ventilator, which I was on for 55 days.
Wow. It was so frightening
It was.
for all of us. It was frightening. I mean, you, but your family,
Well, I was
your
in a
mom,
coma.
yeah,
I
you
was
were
in a
coma.
medically induced. Everybody says, well, this must have been horrible for your family, for my mom.
Your mom.
And but
Your dad, too. He was hanging out there.
Think about it, time just stood still. I woke up in the hospital. Basically, I don't remember anything from actually most of September, quite honestly. And then October, November, nothing until I went to the hospital or the rehab in December. And that time, the hospital beds were few and far between. So they wanted to get me better and get me out.
Right.
And so I was only in rehab for 3 weeks. I got out on December 24th last year. And it's been a long haul since. It is long haul COVID is what I had.
Well, I remember bringing chicken noodle soup over to your house
I
again.
remember that too.
I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know if it'll help, Mike, but chicken noodle soup's supposed to be good.
It's great.
I remember Barry and I telling you need to go, because I remember you didn't want to go. You said, I'm going to be okay. Because you kept telling us, like, I'm going to be
Remember
okay.
when I was talking to you and I was like, don't worry about it. I'll be back. I'll be there next weekend. No,
Yes.
no worries.
Yes. You kept saying, I'm strong. I can do this. I can do this. So that's a long time, 55 days.
55 days on a ventilator. But I did learn a few things. Number one, when you told me, actually, Barry, when I was named a vice president, a proud moment of being vice president of production services for Commando.com. They told me, you're going to find out who your friends are, which was really true. And again, this experience I don't want to say it was a good experience, but there were some really good things that came out of it. Found out who my friends were.
You're always so
You
positive.
are one of them. You are one of my best friends.
Oh,
Amazing. And well, we've known each other. You're right.
long time.
We've known each other so long. I also found out how my family stepped up and
Yeah, they did.
and
Your
helped
niece.
me out. My niece,
Yeah.
especially, she used to be in real estate. Some of the properties were sold last year, which was actually one of them was the plan to sell. I was going to do a 1031 exchange, but they sold two more in North Phoenix. But that's fine because, I woke up, and that was the other thing that I learned is a side hustle. The insurance paid most of the medical bills.
Right.
We have great insurance here. And but I tell everybody, you gotta. My real estate was my side hustle, and I didn't get into real estate to make money. I just love it,
Sure.
But what I learned was you got to have a side hustle. That saved me. I don't have to worry about working anymore.
Right.
I can retire if I want to. So that was a big deal. And of course, again, my family, my mom, I stayed with my parents for the first 4 months of this year. And I'm still recovering.
So I know the number, but the number is astounding to me. The total cost of your medical bills.
Over $2 million. Gosh. I know. And they kept on, as a matter of fact, I'm still paying some medical bills, believe it or not. I'm still paying, there was an ambulance bill from the hospital to the rehab, which is, about two and a quarter miles, let's say.
And how much was it?
$1,400.
Yes. You can negotiate that down.
Well, I think the insurance company does, so they're not going to pay for. Well, that was part of the deductible. That's why I had to pay that.
Yeah.
But the insurance company normally pays about 60% of.
Okay. So you went through all of that, and with rehab, I mean, you're laying there for 55 days. Your muscles, you've got to get your body and your mind back in action. How did you deal with this? I haven't asked you this question. Mm-hmm. How did you deal with all this emotionally?
When I first well, first of all, you know me, I'm a positive guy. So I knew that I had to believe that I was going to come back. Now, when I was in the hospital at Banner Rehab Facility in Phoenix in December, I didn't know if I would ever walk again. Oh. I couldn't take 2 steps out of my bed without being winded completely. I didn't know if I was going to be able to use my hands again because my hands had kind of, what do they call, atrophied to where they're closed. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to open my hands. Now they told me, it'll be back, don't worry about it. But really,
that must have been frightening.
It was kind of scary, but I kept on telling myself, hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to come all the way back. I'm going to start hiking again. I know I'm going to hike mountains again. I know I'm going to use my hands. I know I'm going to walk. And I just kept on telling myself I'm going to get stronger every single day, just 1% stronger every day. And I went for walks in Havasu, down to the lake. It's beautiful. And did the exercises. I was in physical therapy in Havasu, occupational therapy, speech therapy, the whole thing.
Wow.
But I certainly learned a lot. It wasn't a great experience, but it taught me a lot. And I'm better person for it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right. So where are you at now?
Still have nerve pain, although it's getting better.
Nerve pain in your hands?
In my hands and feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then still I get winded, like when I come here and hit the stairs every day.
There's an elevator, Mike. Use the elevator.
I know, but that's for wussies. I'm using the stairs, well, at least once a day. At least once a day. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for your support, and Barry and everybody here.
Yes.
Amazing support. And again,
wouldn't have it any other way.
The insurance saved me and, saved me all that money. Wow, $2 million. Can you believe that? And then
Your out of pocket was what, 8,000?
Yep.
Wow.
Right around 80, maybe 8,800.
Well, I'm so glad to see you. I know you're not working full time, working part time.
Right.
But it just warms my heart when I see you. It really does. I mean,
It goes both ways. This is a very comfortable chair.
Good. And I want you to always be in that comfortable chair.
Thank you.
Promise?
I promise. Not going anywhere.
All right. Well, thank you. And so, everybody, Mike is back. Yes. There he is. Wow. Isn't that something? Still to come, we have more of your phone calls and some great tips you don't want to miss here on The Kim Komando Show. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already following us on social, come on, what are you waiting for? Head over to Instagram.com/Kim Komando, Facebook.com/Kim Komando, LinkedIn.com/Kim Komando, Twitter.com/Kim Komando. But here's the deal, is that if you're ghosting me, just stop. Just hit follow so that this way you get all of our updates that we post as you get them. Again, wherever you're on social, just go ahead and follow us. It's Komando with a K. David in Little Rock, Arkansas. Hi there, David.
Hello.
Welcome. What's going on?
Well, first, I just want to say what an honor it is, the Digital Tech Goddess. I've probably been listening to you for 15 years.
Oh, that's
so,
awesome.
It is an honor. Okay, my issue is me and my wife and son are currently having to live separate due to just different medical issues and financial issues and work. And so I'm looking at a security system, but not just mainly for security, more so that we can share our lives together, put different cameras in the house. She has to stay there with her mom. She's in very bad health, and my work keeps me, 30 to 50 miles away. So I have a different house, different property there.
Okay.
And I just want something all in one so that, my son and my wife, can, view me when I'm home and maybe have multiple cameras in the household and vice versa, so we can, share more of our time together than just a couple days a week.
I got you. I got you covered. I got you covered. I have it covered. You know why?
Okay.
I know exactly what you need.
Okay.
Is that I want you to buy Amazon Echo Shows. They come in anywhere from 5-inch to, I think, a little over 10-inch now. And these are video screens. And you can say, drop in on my wife. And then your video screen is going to give 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden you'll see the video screen where your wife is located. You can say, Alexa, add our son. And then your son will be on the same video screen. And he can drop in on you. Everybody can drop in on each other. You can get notified when he comes, when there's a person that walks past the camera, so you know that he's there. And it's a really easy way to have family communication without worrying about, do you have FaceTime? Let's do this, or so-and-so. It's so easy that it makes it so accessible. And then it has other features. When it's not a screen, you could send a video to your son's screen and say, here's a YouTube video I thought was kind of cool. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so it's video screen technology from Amazon, and you just buy the screen. There's no monthly fee, nothing like that. You just use the screen, and it's really simple to use. I'll put some links for you, David, over inside the Commando community. I'll do this the first part of this week. And thank you for your call. And call me back. Let me know how it works. You are going to love it. All right, let's talk about the easy way to scan slides and 35 millimeter negatives. Kodak has this thing called Mobile Film Scanner. It's a small box you put together, put your phone on top, and the slides or negatives go on the inside, and then it has a battery-powered LED and a free app, and it's about $35. Or you can make your own, and they got instructions over on our website at commando.com, where the show never ends. You can find me. It's KOMANDO.com. That's commando.com with a K, of course.